All right, today we're diving into something called PaperBanana. It's a brand new AI from the folks at Google and Peking University, and it's built to solve a massive, and I mean massive, but kind of hidden problem in the world of science. You can think of it as a personal AI artist, but one that's been trained specifically for researchers. So, just for a second, put yourself in a scientist's shoes. You're trying to get your groundbreaking research published. What's the one thing that secretly just devours all your time? Now, your first guess is probably running the experiments, right? Or maybe, writing the actual paper. But you'd be wrong. It's something else entirely.
Yep, the diagrams. It turns out that taking an incredibly complicated idea and squeezing it into one single, clear, professional-looking picture is a huge headache. And let's be honest, most scientists are brilliant researchers, not professional graphic designers. So this part of the job can be a total nightmare. And look, this isn't just some small inconvenience. We're talking about a genuine bottleneck that can actually slow down the entire pace of scientific discovery. The researchers who built PaperBanana call it exactly that, a labor-intensive bottleneck. What that really means is that brilliant scientists are spending countless hours messing with fonts and arrows instead of focusing on their next big discovery. It slows down how fast new science gets out into the world.
Now, you're probably thinking, wait, don't we already have tools for this? And yeah, we do, but they're not quite right. On one hand, you've got traditional software, but you basically need to be a designer to use it well. And on the other hand, you have these amazing AI image models, but they just aren't precise enough. They can't handle the strict, detailed accuracy that a scientific paper demands. There's this huge gap right in the middle. And this is exactly where PaperBanana comes in. It's not just another image generator. It is a full-blown system designed from the ground up to be a researcher's personal illustrator. Okay, so here's the key idea. It's what's called an agentic framework. That means a scientist can just give it their written text, the actual paper, along with a simple caption, and this AI system automatically creates a professional, totally publication-ready illustration from scratch. So how in the world does it actually pull this off? Well, the secret sauce here is that it's not just one AI. It's a whole team of specialized AIs that all work together, kind of like a tiny little creative agency that lives inside the machine. The whole process basically breaks down into two major stages. First, you've got the planning phase. This is where a team of AIs creates a super detailed blueprint for the illustration. And then it moves into the refinement phase, which is this back and forth loop where the image gets drawn, critiqued, and perfected. And this whole operation is run by a team. So let's meet the 5 specialized AI agents that make up this little agency. First up is the retriever. Think of this one as the team's research librarian. Its job is to dig through this huge database of published scientific papers to find diagrams that look structurally similar. This gives it the inspiration it needs and makes sure the final product actually looks like it belongs in that specific scientific field. Next, you have the planner agent. This is the architect of the group. It takes those examples that the retriever found and uses them to write an incredibly detailed text description of what the new illustration should be. And I'm not talking about a simple prompt. This is a full-on set of instructions for every single element, making sure nothing is left up to chance. Then comes the stylist, which is like the design consultant. This agent has studied thousands of academic diagrams to learn all the unwritten rules of scientific design. The stuff that separates a student's diagram from a professional one, the right fonts, the right line weights, the color palettes that signal credibility. So with that blueprint finally ready, the visualizer agent steps in. This is the illustrator of the team. It's the one that actually takes all those dense instructions from the planner and all of the aesthetic rules from the stylist and creates the first visual draft. But it's not done yet. Finally, we have the critic agent, the quality inspector. Because an illustration can look absolutely beautiful, but if it's scientifically wrong, it's completely useless. The critic acts like a peer reviewer, a fact checker, making sure every single detail in the image perfectly matches the original text. And this right here is where the real magic happens. The visualizer and the critic go back and forth in a loop. The critic points out flaws, the visualizer redraws it, and they repeat this whole cycle 3 times. This ensures that the final version is as accurate and as polished as it can possibly be. Okay, that all sounds fantastic in theory, right? But the real question is, how good is it really? To find out, the researchers put this thing through a seriously tough test.
In fact, they didn't just use some easy off-the-shelf test. No, they had to build their very own benchmark from scratch, and they called it PaperBanana Bench. They took 292 complex real-world diagrams straight from papers published at NeurIPS, which is one of the absolute top AI conferences in the world. This was a true stress test. And the results? Well, across the board, judging everything from accuracy to clarity to aesthetics, PaperBanana blew the other leading methods out of the water by a solid 17% overall. That is a huge leap forward. But this is where it gets really wild. Take a look at the detailed breakdown. You can see other models scoring way down there. But PaperBanana, it hits an overall score of 60.2. Now, not only does that absolutely crush the other AIs, it actually beats the human baseline score of 50. Let that sink in. That means its diagrams were often judged to be even better than the original human-made ones. So what does a tool like this actually mean for the future of science? Let's zoom out for a second and think about the bigger picture. My absolute favorite detail from the research paper is this little note the authors tucked away inside. They mentioned that any diagram in their paper marked with a tiny banana icon was, in fact, created by PaperBanana. And this is just brilliant because it means the very diagram they used in the paper to explain how PaperBanana works was itself made by the AI. It's the ultimate proof of concept. The AI literally drew its own self-portrait. How cool is that? So, what does this all boil down to? By automating this incredibly difficult and time-consuming task, PaperBanana gives scientists back their single most valuable resource, their time. That's time they can now spend on discovery, on analysis, and on pushing the boundaries of what we know. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. We've seen AI master crunching numbers, and now it looks like it's mastering scientific visual communication. So what's the next great human bottleneck in science that AI is going to help us solve?